We divide polynomials by polynomials of degree 1 so often that it's useful to have a shortcut for doing that. A common shortcut we use is called synthetic division. Synthetic division only works if you're dividing by something of the form x minus a, where a is some constant, but it comes up often enough that it's worth learning this technique. In this class, most of the time you do division of a polynomial, you're going to do it by something of the form x minus a. So how do I use synthetic division to solve a problem like 4x cubed minus 13x squared minus 20x minus 15 divided by x minus 5? Well, when I divide a third degree polynomial by a first degree polynomial, the answer is going to be a second degree polynomial or a quadratic. So it's going to have the form something times x squared plus something times x plus something, that's the constant, plus the remainder divided by x minus 5, the original divisor. So this problem is just to find what these numbers are. First thing I do is I draw a little box and a line. In the box, I put whatever makes the denominator 0. In this case, it's a 5. So I'm dividing by x minus 5. So I put a positive 5 there. If this was x plus 5, I'd put a negative 5 in there. So the sign of this is the opposite of the sign of the constant in the denominator. Then I put the coefficients of the numerator in descending order on the right. So I have 4 from the x third term, negative 13, negative 20, and negative 15. It's important here, if one of these terms was missing, if there wasn't an x term, for instance, you'd put a 0 in for that. You want to have 4 numbers here if this is a third degree polynomial. You want to have 5 numbers here if it's a fourth degree polynomial. You always want one more than the degree of the polynomial you're dividing. Then below the constant term, I put a little box under the line like this. Now I take the 4, I drop it down here. I take this 4 times this 5, that's 20, and I put it in the next column. Then I add negative 13 plus 20, that's positive 7. Then I start over. 7 times 5 is 35. I put that in the next column. Then I add. Negative 20 plus 35 is 15. 15 times 5 is 75. Then I add these together, I get 60. So now that I've done that, these are the coefficients of the answers. So this 4 goes here, this 7 goes here, this 15 goes here, and the remainder goes here. That's why it's in a little box to remind you that it's the remainder. So if you have 4x third minus 13x squared minus 20x minus 15, and you're dividing them by x minus 5, the answer is 4x squared plus 7x plus 15 plus 60 divided by x minus 5. How about you guys? Try this problem.